So let's talk about monomials. A monomial is a number, variable, or a product of a number and one or more variables with whole number exponents. So if we look at some examples of monomials, you have -2, you have 1/4 x to the second, and you have 2.5x to the cube, y to the second, z to the first. Those are all examples of monomials. Basically, what this boils down to is we're going to be finding the value of adding up these exponents together to find out what they add up to. We're going to find the degree of the monomial. That's going to help us solve some things in the future. So let's slide over here and talk about what is not a monomial. It's not a monomial. So let's look at x to the 1.3. This is not because you must have whole number exponents. Let's look at 3 over n. This is not because you cannot have variables as denominators. So shorten that up. And as we remember, the bottom number of a fraction or division problem is the denominator. And our third example will be, let's go 8 to the x. That is not because you cannot have exponents be variables. All right, so I mentioned earlier the degree of monomials. The degree of a monomial is the sum of exponents of the variables in the monomial. So if we look at this, we'll start off with, let's say, 4x squared. If we add up all the exponents, we have just this one. So the degree is 2. If we have -1/4, and we go x, y squared, we look at the exponent of the x, we look at the exponent of the y. The exponent of the x is 1. If you don't remember, the variables by themselves always have an exponent, and that exponent is 1 or more, because x to the first is the same thing as x. So 2 plus 1 is 3. So this would be to the third degree. And let's do an example of, slide this down a teeny bit. We have the number 8. We look at this and we say, well, technically there's a variable there, but this is the same thing as 8x to the 0, because x to the 0 is 1. So 8 times 1 is 1. So this would be a 0 degree. So if you have no variable, you're assuming there's an x to the 0 or nothing. So this by itself, there is no variable for. Now if this was 8, slide it down, squared, it would be 2. But because there is no variable, there is no exponent, you just put that down. That is how you find monomials. This will be important as we move into polynomials in the next video.